A lot of tennis people were talking a lot of shit on pickleball. That was like almost the thing. I'm out there sweating my ass off. We talked to John McEnroe.
I just ripped out of John McEnroe's pocket.
Give me that. Is there still a little heat between tennis and pickleball? And what are your thoughts on pickleball?
You know, my thoughts is, I wouldn't broad brush that anymore with tennis players. I mean, there's no reason why these two great, sports can't play nicely in the sandbox. I mean, geez, it's, there's no reason why a tennis player can't keep a pickleball paddle in their bag when they're out there with friends. It's a great community game. It's a great participation game. And you're right. Every time I play it, it's like I just got out of a swimming pool with my clothes. I mean, it looks like it's a different demand physically, but I assure you it is a physical therapist, a dream for pickleball to come in, because the clientele that are now coming because of all the people that think they can do it. So, no, we're having so much fun. It's been a great outlet. It's added a great deal to my life. I don't have the rotational issues that I would in tennis, sort of at this age with my back and that sort of thing. But there's a lot of movement, a lot of stress, and it's very counterintuitive to tennis. So it's not that if you just play tennis, you might do some things really well in pickleball, but there's other things that you have to almost unlearn first. So quite a challenge mentally as well.
I think watching that first Pickleball Slam where there was $1 million.
Yeah.
$1 million on the line.
Cash.
I think
I just ripped out of John McEnroe's pocket.
Give me that. Give me that. That's what you did. But we talked to John McEnroe like 4 days before the event, and he was talking a lot of shit on pickleball. And I don't know if he was taking it as serious as I think we were in the middle of playing a lot of pickleball. It's like, hey, John, you can get good at this by playing this. Like, this is something you can definitely get better at, which I think is another advantage of pickleball, the sport, because a lot of people that aren't necessarily as athletic, they see progress quickly. They're going to continue to play it. But as we watched that Pickleball Slam kind of unfold, you all kind of got a little bit more intense as the game was going. You all got a little bit better. Have you played a lot of pickleball? And going into that one, were you prepared?
I mean, I don't want to, say more, unveil more to John than I care to, but I've been playing a lot. And I've been playing with him on my mind, quite frankly, for the most part. But I've been playing it with my wife too, which by the way, can add a great deal to your relationship, or it can ruin it. So you got to be careful with careful with that one. We had such a blast last year. I think the funnest part was watching all these champions that kind of knew how to direct their blood pressure and their energy and get through the intensity of 20,000 people going silent, watching them on a tennis court. And here we are with that same kind of experience and discipline, yet we have nowhere to direct it, because in pickleball you can't just energy yourself through these shots. You have to kind of calm down when you hit, and it was so disorienting for all of us to deal with the pressure. That the pressure brought back some great memories, and it did feel like a slam. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
That's why I want to do it again, and that's why Steph is doing it too, my wife, because she was there and she's like, wow, that looked like a blast. And she's been getting into it. It's a lot of fun. Everybody has a good time.
Yeah, they interviewed your wife during it. I remember she was on the sideline. I think she came out and did a serve and everything. Steffi Graf, 22 Grand Slam singles titles. Could you imagine happening upon one of these country clubs that has a pickleball court? And it's like you sign up for couples pickleball.
Sure.
Okay. You got couples pickleball, and you just so happen to run into Steffi Graf and Andre Agassi. It's like, what is the deal? You guys have been preparing. We got moves. We got strategy. We're ready.
And hey, let's be on the record. And if she ever leaves me, I get half her slams, right? So that puts me about 29. So I think Novak has a long ways to go still.
That's awesome. Ty has a question for you.
Andre, when you look at professional tennis as a whole right now, I mean, obviously there are some, younger American guys who are kind of making a push and becoming more popular and getting better. But with pickleball becoming as popular as it is, and with how much other stuff there is to do you think we're ever going to get another great American tennis rivalry like you and Pete Sampras, or do you think that's never going to happen again?
Well, listen, I think rivalries aren't guaranteed in any sport, right? It doesn't matter how talented a generation is, right? You need to capture the imagination of cultures and people. And in the sense of me and Pete, we weren't just two opposite players, which was so obvious on a tennis court, but we were two opposite personalities and two opposite people altogether. So, to find those unique dynamics, Federer and Nadal, I mean, talking about a righty lefty, one who makes it look like so ballistic and one who makes it look like poetry. I mean, there's some special elements to rivalries. But what I will say is, we're pretty spoiled in America coming off a number of generations before these three greats that we sort of have seen, for the last 20 years. But we came off a hefty generation. We got 4 guys in the top 20 now, 5 in the top 25, right? I mean, watching Ben Shelton as an example, never feel overmatched with whatever environment he's in, the semis of the Open, quarters of the Open, and you see his his spirit and his desire to be out there. You're watching Taylor Fritz, who's going to put to back top 10 years. I mean, you're looking at Tiafoe, the way he's moved, Sebastian Korda, Tommy Paul. I mean, there's a lot of great guys. The problem has been Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, right? I mean, these guys have been probably the biggest issues. I do think we're going to see an American player get to the top at some point. But you're asking about a rivalry. A lot needs to fall right for that magic to happen.
I'm listening to you break this down right now. You still follow the game very closely, obviously. Love the game. I want to let you know, I know you felt like you were forced into tennis and everything like that. Tennis has got to be incredibly thankful that you were a part of it. We were all massive fans. And listening to you talk about the sport right there was mesmerizing. That was fantastic. Have you fallen in love with the sport? What have you kind of post-retirement kind of feeling like that? How has your relationship with tennis gone?
Well, listen, I'm more grateful for the game than the game is for me. I promise you that. It's given me a platform to change so many lives on so many levels. It's given me the platform to meet my wife, my children, my life, my family. I mean, giving me the chance to freaking, play pickleball and get paid to do it and take that money away from John McEnroe at the same time. I mean, there's so much fun that's kind of tied to the life it's given me. And yes, I do follow it. Yes, I do love it. I mean, I'm a student of the game. I don't know if I consider myself an overachiever or an underachiever because I spent so much time thinking about how to make myself better. And I spent so much time wasting years of my career. Right. So, but when it comes to the mathematics of the game, when it comes to the dynamics and matchups of the game, I mean, I turn on any match and immediately, I just fall right into it. But at the same time, I can say it's a lot more enjoyable from my living room than it is from the worst seat in the stadium, which was typically against Pete or against Roger or one of those guys. So I'm just thankful I don't have to do it anymore, but I do love it.
Amen. I saw a punter backed up in his own end zone while we were sitting in our suite or whatever, and I'm like, I am so thankful I do not have to be the guy to do what he has to do right now. I couldn't even imagine having to do it at the rate and the level.
Well, see, when I'm backed up in my own end zone, it's my fault. You at least have the luxury of going, okay, at least I didn't put myself in this deficit. I'm trying to bail out of it, right? But for me, I was deep in that end zone, and a lot of times it was self-inflicted.
Yeah, but hey, that's tennis, baby.
Yep.
Yeah, that's tennis, baby. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, I'm curious, with you and your wife, Steffi, do you have any, friendly competition on who may be the better pickleball player right now?
Yeah, and who is?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So there's obviously singles and doubles in pickle, and singles is a much more direct translation of tennis than doubles. Doubles is an entirely kind of different sensibility, if you will. So singles, we haven't gone after each other because it's a lot of, believe it or not, as small as that court seems, things happen quickly because of the distance between two people, and there's a lot of ballistic, urgent movements, and it comes with a little bit more, say, physical demand and or risk. But doubles, we can really get out there and mix it up. And honestly, we've enjoyed being on the same side of the court so much. We haven't gone after the other one. She does a couple things better than me, and a couple things come more naturally to me than her based on our tennis game. But we do make a good combo, and I just don't see John and Maria, being able to live up to the standard we're going to bring. I just like to highlight that.
Yeah, I appreciate you highlighting that, as we highlighted a point for you in the first Pickleball Slam there with McEnroe hitting it into the net during the middle of your answer there. Did we learn anything about him? It felt like you were attacking something towards the end of that. You and Roddick were kind of attacking something towards the end of that.
Well, from a strategic standpoint, we were still novices then, and maybe John still is. I don't know how much he's played, and again, dealing with the pressure with all that prize money that was on the line and the crowd and I mean, it was hard to do. We started playing all of us started basically choking. Just started hitting the ball to the thick part of the court. I mean, my opponents were blurry. I didn't even see who they were. You were kind of so uptight about it. But now you kind of know how to drop your blood pressure a little bit when you're out there. You know how to kind of navigate the strategy inside inside those nerves. And going back to the Hard Rock Seminole at Miami. I mean, I've been in that environment now once, and there's a lot of quick processing you do when you've been in those levels of competition before. So I've done some good processing, and come February 4th, I think I'll be ready to make the most of the environment.
Hell yeah. Did we learn the kitchen? That's the big deal. You got to learn the kitchen, bro.
Yeah, what's the rule?
You got to own the kitchen. What are you talking about?
What is the rule?
What is the rule? We're not allowed in there ever, but we can jump spike in there?
Well, yeah, if you're going to hit the ball in the air, you can't hit the ball in the air by stepping in there, right? So that's why you can't close the net and just slam it. But if you jump across the kitchen, you can get away with some of those what they call earnies. But if the ball bounces in the kitchen, then you can step into the kitchen to play it. But you got to get yourself back in a hurry. Which again, there's a lot of subtle, constant movement in the game, and it asks a lot of your of different parts of your body you forgot you had, I assure you.
A little sore the next day after the Pickleball Slam, it sounds like. $1 million on the line, February 4th. We appreciate the hell out of you, man.
You're a good man. Thank you, Pat. Appreciate the time.